Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of A Conversation With. Please introduce yourself.
So I am Czafari and I am a singer-songwriter and DJ, to summarise.
Yeah. Do you know those sound effects? Wow. No. So we're going to chop it up. So before we get into the music and the DJing and stuff, let's go straight back to the beginning. Okay. Strip it all the way back. Who is Czafari back in school days? Like, what was her energy? What did you like to do for fun?
Ooh, good question.
Like, what was Czafari back in the day?
Ooh, what was I like? Let me just take a step back in my head. So I was, to be fair, I was vibing off music so hard, even back then. Like, I used to, when I was about, I think I was about 4 or 5, I started dancing.
Okay.
And my mom took me to like dance sessions to kind of get me to obviously learn how to dance.
Yeah.
But I think she probably did that because she knew that like I just really enjoyed music from a young age. Obviously back then I wasn't really singing. I think I was more just dancing.
So do you think that was an influence from like your parents musically, or just you just liked music?
I think that was kind of maybe more me, but at the same time, like maybe my dad as well, because my dad's just into. He's always been into music.
Okay.
From when I've been born. And he would like literally educate me on music from the 60s and like the 70s.
Okay.
So he's born in 1950, so he's got that kind of like musical knowledge for many years.
Yeah.
And like he's kind of like, if a song came on the radio and it was probably like a song from like back in the day, he'd be like, "Oh, I remember when this came out."
You know what parents say that. How would you even dance these back in the day?
How do you even remember that? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you know? How do you remember?
Yeah.
But they remember, and I think my dad, seeing my dad so passionate about music and stuff. Not in the same way as me, but like seeing him so passionate about it, it kind of made me feel like, oh yeah, I like music.
Yeah.
And then I think I started, like, I'm talking about primary school now. Primary school, I started singing in the church choir.
Okay.
And I think that's when I found my voice, and my mum was like, oh, she can sing. Then, but like, I think literally that was like primary school, and then like as I became into like a teenager, I love music through and through.
Yeah.
And like I would like always want to have my friend I always would plan parties for my friends. Yeah. Like for them to come to my house, and I like make playlists before they come, so I can be like, oh, let's listen to this, guys, and I have music prepared for them. That was like me 12, 13, like
putting on productions,
events since then. So like to be fair, like I was kind of like I loved bringing people together, and like I was a bit shy, but then like when I kind of found people that I liked, then I would be a bit more extroverted.
I wouldn't put you down as being shy though.
At school, a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. I had to kind of force myself a little bit to come out.
So do you think like these events you'd put on at your house? Do you think that like musically as well brought you out of your shell?
I think so.
Which is more like comfortable, so you're like, right, this is me in this kind of space.
You know what, you saying that, and I feel like setting the tone, I guess, is what I did with preparing music beforehand.
Yeah.
And thinking, oh, would my friends like this? Oh, if not, shall I introduce them to some new music? And like literally growing up, I've always done that, and like my friendship groups have been very varied over the years. Yeah. And like I suppose I've been able to kind of make friends through the different genres of music that I'm into.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I do see.
Yeah, so like I think like if I was playing a house party and certain people were coming, I would know to play this type of music.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
So you're kind of like language speaking. I'm trying to like get this. It's in my head. I'm trying to make it come out. So you're like language, getting to know people, it's kind of like through music.
Yeah, to be fair.
Do you know what I
mean? Definitely.
Because people see like musical notes and see music as a language of itself anyway.
It's true.
And that's kind of what I'm picking up on.
I think, you know what,
again,
again, you saying that, I think that is pretty much nailing it on the head. Yeah, definitely.
I'm a genius, guys.
Yeah. I'm joking. One hunters. Do
you know? Oh, so like, okay, so that was like school, learning obviously the church choir and stuff. So transitioning to college, young adult years. How did your passion for music grow?
Oh, You know what? I think it was college where I thought I kind of like knew my passion.
Okay.
And my passion was kind of like helping people, kind of figuring out about the world. I was so into like philosophy. I still am, but when I was about 16, 17, I would always like sit with myself and ask all these questions like, like what happens after we die, and like because I'm quite a spiritual person, these kind of things from a young age would like come into my head, and I thought maybe I should study it. So I wanted to study philosophy, but I didn't because I couldn't at the time. I forgot what happened. But then I studied sociology in the end, and like communications and culture and English.
Okay.
And when I was about 16, I thought, this is what I'm into. I can't wait to study it. And then as I was doing it, this was like A-level times. As I was studying my A-levels, I was like, okay, cool. This is really cool, but it didn't feel right. I had an interest in those things, but I couldn't see me having an interest for these things for like the rest of my life. It just didn't feel right. And like I was planning to go to uni and everything, and like kind of like study the same subjects. And then I think it was probably around my 18th birthday, I was like, I don't think I want to go to uni anymore. I think I want to focus on music, because prior to that, I released my first EP when I was 17.
Okay.
And so many musical opportunities were coming. I thought like.
So talk more about that then. So, 17. What even made you start an EP?
Good question.
Like 17-year-olds are like, I'll just like drop a single here or whatever. And EP is like a catalogue of music. Obviously not a lot of singles or whatever, but what makes you at 17 be like, you know what, I want to do an EP?
I had the right people around me at the time.
Okay.
And I think what happened was I finished my A-levels and I didn't have anything to do. I was working part-time at Nando's. Choot Nando's.
Chicken. What was that? Could get
chicken. But I was working part-time at Nando's, and like the other time I was basically just doing nothing. And I found out about a local community centre around by where I lived.
Okay. And
there was a guy there called Aaron who, if he gets to watch this, I'm just saying it now, I love you for developing me as a young black girl, because I just didn't know what I was doing with my time. But I went there and he was basically like sitting in as like a producer for young people, teaching them about music a little bit. And like his energy was so great that I was determined to go back each week and record a song.
Okay.
And like he made beats and stuff, but then I would bring beats in and I'd be like, can I record a song please? And I just all of a sudden, over the past like 6 weeks, I had 7 songs. And I was like, okay, let's just release it. It wasn't mixed or mastered to like the T or anything. It was literally just messing about. Not messing about, it was messing about, but at the same time, fueling my creativity. And it just made me feel
putting
so
the feels
good.
out. Putting the feels out, seeing what comes of it.
Yeah, it was great. It was so good. And like, it was summer as well, so you know the vibes are always great. So after that I released it, just not thinking anything of it, to be fair. Just thought, I released it. Because actually before that I released a single from the EP as like just a test. I'll just put it on Facebook to all my Facebook friends. I was like, listen to this. And people really liked it. I was like, oh. I didn't expect nothing from it. And I think because people liked it, I was like, I remember saying to Erin, I'm going to just release all of it in one go and see what people think. And then,
But imagine if you didn't though.
It's true.
Imagine if you didn't. Imagine, okay, just say you release the single and like more people was like, nah. Then you probably would have been like, you know what? Not really for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
And that's what, like, when I say to like my younger brother and stuff, like, do what you want to do because you never know where it's gonna take you.
100%.
Not saying that was your path because obviously there's a lot of people that said they like it and stuff. So you're thinking, okay, cool, I'm gonna. But on the flip side, imagine if you didn't get that reception.
It's true. It's so true. It's so
you wouldn't be breaking down barriers and. Do you know what I mean?
It's so true.
So it's like from 17. So going back now. 17, dropping the EP. What was the goal, or what was like you think to be like, right, cool?
I think after I dropped it, it was just like because I didn't expect anything from it, and this always happens to me when I don't expect anything. It's all the best always comes out, and like at the time I was getting like gig bookings, but it was like performing for free, which is completely fine because I needed that experience anyway. Yeah. And like I was just saying yes to absolutely everything because I thought, you know what? Why not? I've decided I'm not going to uni. Let's make the most of my time. If it means performing, do it. If it means literally like getting out of my comfort zone, because that's all I needed, and that was my growth. Some people find growth in going to uni, but my growth was pushing myself to do literally just to perform on stage. And at the time I was just literally singing with a backing track on stage by myself with a little bit of reverb and that was it, and it was just mad. Like it was a good time. It was good for me to experience that at a young age, I think, because it's I've grown a lot since then. Definitely.
That's sick. So like obviously you're saying like your dad was like into music and stuff, and would kind of, not school you, but like get to know different eras of music. So what was like your parents' influences, or what was their kind of vibe towards you not going to uni? Because obviously black parents are like education.
Which I get, but
you know what I mean? But then now you have like black creatives, and they're like, oh, there's not money in there, or what are you gonna fall back on? It's always the fall back on. So when you're saying to your parents, I don't think uni's for me, I'm gonna try this music thing, what was their reactions?
Literally like this. Like I remember saying to my mum, oh mum, I've released a song. This is my first single that I ever released. I've released a song on SoundCloud and it's got 100 plays. And she was like, 100 plays, that's so good. She was just gasping me, and I loved that. But then I think because it was kind of like obviously a hobby, I was working, so it was kind of like, all right, like she didn't really think, oh, like this is the route that Zara's gonna go down. But then I think when I like fully decided that I didn't want to go to uni, it was a bit like, so what are you gonna do then? I'm just gonna work. I want to travel, I want to do all these things. And they were like, okay, alright, not amazing, that sounds great. It was a bit like, I don't really want to agree with this, but if that's what you want to do, do it. And then like, it was, it's, even now it's not, because when it's obviously there's not that consistency, and the crave industry there's like a big massive stigma around you not getting paid for doing the work. But people should be paid for doing the work, like 100%.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like, you know, there's not. It's an industry that's growing more than ever now, and I feel like people have realised that since COVID.
Oh, 100%.
Because without music, you wouldn't have been able to listen to music when you was at home.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been able to work out to your music when you was at home. You need music, you need art, you need film, you need TV. All of that is part of the creative industry.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like now people are, like the older generation, are opening their eyes a little bit to seeing the need for it.
Yeah. And just to touch on that as well, like my background's acting. And with acting, I'll say 85% of the time, you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
Whether you're an extra, background artist, you're saying 1 or 2 lines. If you find a company, you're going to be paid.
Yeah.
As little as do you know what I mean?
It's true.
You're going to get paid.
Yeah.
But with musicians, there's not that platform.
Yeah.
There's not that like, join us and then if you get this gig or whatever, you get paid.
Yeah.
It's kind of more...
Yeah.
independent, you gotta find it yourself kind of thing.
100%. To be honest, that's something I have seen change since I've been in the music scene within Birmingham. Like, when I first started, the majority of my gigs were free. The majority, but at the same time, I didn't really think that much of it because I was young. And I was pretty much an amateur. But like now, I've seen that like for example, my gig bookings now, the majority of the time I do get paid for it, and I've had to say to myself now, if I'm not getting paid for it, is it worth it? If it's not worth it, then I can sit that one out. And I think having that control is a lot more nicer because I get to kind of choose who I want to work with and stuff and what will benefit me. But like getting paid in the creative industry, it is a thing, but I don't know. I think parents in the older generation,
they don't see it, do they?
They don't really see it as a career. So they don't think that money comes out of it, but money comes out of it. There's money behind it, man.
And it's empty money as well. Like
true.
It's like there's so much money in the creative arts. You just need to unlock those kind of doors. You need to unlock the paths because there is money behind it and there's money in it as well. Do you know what I mean? It's just really. It's accessible if you know the right people. And know the right things.
Definitely.
If you unlock that.
You
got it.
It's a shame because not a lot of people know about the kind of, I guess, the resources within the creative industry. Like, you have to kind of be in it to be aware of it. If you're on the outside looking in, you don't know.
You wouldn't.
Like a parent, outside looking in, I have no idea. Do you know what I mean?
Obviously, you say that you're not going to uni and your parents obviously still with gritted teeth. Like, uni, education stuff. How do you push through, and are you still pushing through?
I definitely think I'm still pushing through. I feel like I've always been pushing through. Now I'm thinking of it, but like what I had to do is keep pushing through for myself, keep showing them how much I want it. Like it's not just one of those things where I'm like, I want to do music. I think as well with me, I think my parents know that like over the years that like sometimes I'll start something and not finish it. But music is literally the one thing for the past almost 10 years that I've started and I haven't finished. I haven't finished. I've kept it going. And the opportunities that have come out of it from me keeping on going, I think of what my parents have been like, more gig bookings, more opportunities. Like, they're like, okay.
They can see.
That I must be good. Do you know what I mean? There must be something that I'm doing right for me to be getting these things. I think that's kind of their mindset. Obviously, I'm not making like a massive salary wage as I once did because I used to work full time. Like, I'm not getting that amount of money anymore. So I have took a pay cut, but at the same time, I'm a lot more happier now. And I feel like if my parents give me that little bit more of a chance for them to just let me keep going, I will generate it in, and I'll be making money and also be happy. So do you know what I mean?
It's like a win-win. So like going back to you're 17, you do this EP. Was you writing the songs? Like, what was your? Because you have to be skills. Was you writing the songs?
I was writing the songs. So
you have to be.
That's an ice cream van.
Sounds like something in a horror film, innit?
It sounds like a riot. What the hell? On high pitched. That is next. I've never had
ice cream van.
If you had ice cream van, I've never had ice cream van like that before. I was thinking, who's
musically for a musical guest.
Yeah.
Thanks, Roger.
No, I love it. Oh,
but yeah, so like, obviously writing, you need a type of skill to write. So what was your inspirations or your thoughts of writing at 17?
Any. What was I thinking? Blah, blah. To be fair, it was kind of like
what was the songs about then for you to be?
I was writing about kind of what was going on around me at the time. There was like I was writing about the crushes I had.
Yeah.
As you do in year.
As we all do.
And I was writing about kind of like spirituality and also kind of like sociological issues, because I remember at the time, I think it was George Floyd got shot in America.
Okay, yeah.
And that had a massive impact on me, and that really it shook me a bit. And because it happened during the time when I was writing the EP, I was like, why not write a song about this?
Yeah.
And on my EP, it's called A Better Place, and it's about how the world would be a better place if Black people weren't criminalised all the time.
Yeah.
If you were treated differently for the code. If you were treated the same, if you got, do you know what I mean? We're all the same.
Yeah.
And obviously what happened with George Floyd, he got shot, he got killed just for the colour of his skin.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it really.
But even saying that, as young as you was, you obviously had an older head on your shoulders to be even thinking about social issues. Because people young, they'll be like, yeah, I want this big chain. Do you know what I mean? I want this big car.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing this and the third. And you're like, nah, you know what? Social issues, which is good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, and you saying that, I think, obviously, I was studying sociology at college, just before then. And I learned a lot, and, a lot of, cultural issues, racism, a lot of that was taught, 2 years prior to that. So that was kind of, heavily on my mind anyway. And then that happened with George Floyd. I was like, I literally just had a calling to say something. And I've always said to myself, if I'm writing a song and people are going to hear it, I may as well write about something that people should hear.
Yeah.
It needs to be important, or if not important, then they need to listen to it and be like, oh yeah, okay, cool, that makes sense.
Yeah.
People need to learn something or take something away from my music, and that's what I always want from it. So.
That's good though. So I've always said you, and probably obviously other people say, your sound is very unique. When I first heard you sing, I was like, I don't know what sound I was expecting. Yeah. But I wasn't expecting how you sound.
Everyone says that, but I just don't understand.
I wasn't expecting how. I was just like, what? It's very good.
Yeah.
You're definitely not like anyone else. However, saying that, giving you kind of a similarity. You know, is her name Neo?
Neo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like a funk soul. Do you know what I mean? But literally, I'm not just saying this. Your voice is just outstanding.
Thanks.
It really is, and I like the tone. I like the freshness. I like the funk and soul. Listen, I'm not really into funk and soul. That's not my era of music.
I love the funk and soul, but I'm not into funk and soul. Yeah.
I'm not, your voice and your music, it's like it captivates you.
Okay.
Is that the right word? Captivates?
I think so.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
It does, and it's like, when you first started, have you always sounded like that?
I think so,
Was it a conscious, because obviously some people are like, oh, no more husky voice, so let's try and do. Was it a conscious thing, or was that just how?
I think that's just how it comes out. Yeah. And I think it's listening to many different artists over the years and just kind of like following my voice. Yeah. I think there's influences across many genres, across different. There's just so many different things. Yeah. And then whatever just wants to come out from that is that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
It's really it's really good. As I said, when I first heard you, I was like, yes. Yes, because you don't. Everyone sounds the same. You're not gonna know. Oh, that sounds. Oh, it could be this. When you're singing, it's like that is you. Okay. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you.
And that's really
good.
And
it's because I need to tell myself that, because the imposter syndrome is real.
Oh God.
It's so real. Like, just like, but like I have to keep telling myself, like, you know, like the way how I compliment people, I need to compliment myself as well, because it's just as important.
We always are hard on ourselves though with everything.
Everything is mad.
We are. It is crazy.
No, but thank you though.
So like, how would you, obviously I described you sound as folk soul. It probably. I love it. How do you describe your sound, or how do you describe your musical journey?
See, I find it difficult as well, because I know that like my sound has come from a lot of different areas of music, but like to kind of put it into like a little box, I would say. Yeah. It's kind of like alternative R&B, indie kind of song. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. So.
Yeah. That's how I would kind of describe it. Like, it's mad because my music's definitely changed. Like, the way how I perceive my music has changed since I was 17. Because I think when I was 17, I was kind of like, I made my EP based around the music I was listening to. Yeah. But now I'm trying to release music from what feels right in here, rather than what's just being played on the radio. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so it may not be just your typical R&B, which I don't want anyway. But like, you hear that on the radio constantly.
You really do.
So I just want to make what's right.
So obviously, you transitioned from your first EP. How many EPs have you released?
I've only released one EP, but since then I've released like a couple of singles. Yeah.
So do you think you're gonna release another EP? Are we gonna get exclusive?
Yes. So literally, so it's been like 6 years since I released my EP, and I think it's about time to release another, like, you know, model of work. So I've got a single coming out on Monday. That's called Makeup, and it's the first single from the EP that's going to be coming out later this year. Yeah, so it's a bit different. Yeah. But I'm trialing it and I'm doing it, so.
Listen, we're here for it.
Yeah. So I hope you like it. Like, I'm like, I hope you like it. Like, it's excitement with nerves.
Because obviously you released Your Biggest Fan and I Want. So would they be on?
They're not on the EP.
No, they're just singles.
Literally, yeah. So the next work is just completely fresh, which is quite exciting. Yeah. But like, it's quite nerve-wracking because it's very different to Your Biggest Fan and I Want.
I was gonna say, so why are they not on the EP? Because they're different.
Yeah. I think on the EP is like it's summarising the past like 2 years of my life. Yeah. In a way where I'm kind of like telling stories around again what's been going on around me. Yeah. And a few messages that I want to say to people.
Okay, so like I was gonna say, like, love. I feel like it's a flowing theme in your songs.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's not like about a man, about a crush. It's about family, like motherhood. It's those kind of things. So like, how was I gonna say? your interpretation of love and then writing them into a song, are you conscious of writing them in a song, or it just comes?
A little bit of both, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I think sometimes I'm like, oh, I just have a feeling I need to write about that particular like type of love, and then in the end I'm like, you know what, I think I need to keep doing this because again I want to share this with people. So at first, like, I feel like it happens a lot with my songs where I start writing about something and I'm like, yeah, this is important, let's carry on. Like I have to stop and be like, yeah girl, keep going. And then I'm like, yeah, this is why everyone needs to hear it because it's important.
So what goes through like your head when you do like your writing process? Can you just like be on the bus and, you know, or walking through the shopping, like, right, let me just jot that down? Or you're like one of these people where you have to be total silence. This is what I'm doing. I'm writing a song. This is pen and paper. What's like your methods?
My main method, to be honest, is sitting down in silence and just kind of like it's kind of my way of meditating, to be honest. It's like I sit down in silence and I'm like, I'm listening to a beat, or I'm just having the words flow out of me and I'm just writing down how I feel or whatever comes to mind. Sometimes I'll just be singing like a melody and be like, oh sure, that's good. And then I'll write it down quickly before I forget. Because otherwise I will forget. I'll get my phone and I like voice record it, because if I forget the melody or like the tone, sometimes it gets on my nerves. I'm like, wait, how did I sing that again? That was so good.
To think, you're like, oh, that was
it's gone. It's gone. And there's been so many good melodies that I've just left my brain and I'm like, oh. But yeah, like it is the main way of writing for me is just sitting down with my notepad and letting it all come out. But like it can be in any location, to be fair. Like, for example, with my first EP, I was in Spain for one of the songs that I wrote. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Take Me on my first EP, and I was like doing like I was working abroad for like a couple of weeks. I don't know if you remember actually when I went away for like
I don't know, weeks. Yesterday, girl.
But anyway, I was and I was in like an apartment block, and then opposite it was the beach. And it just reminded me of like being taken away by the waves, and that's why the song's called Take Me. And like, obviously, the majority of the time I'm sitting down writing, but I remember sitting down writing on the beach and just thinking, oh yeah, I wish the beach could just take me away.
So have you got any, as you say, like lost melodies and stuff, have you got any songs that just didn't quite make the EP? Have you still got them? And will we ever hear those
that's
songs?
a good question. Oh my god, there's
because
so
you can rewrite it, you can have another melody, you're more older now, so words can get changed. Would you ever think about doing that, or just like...
There's so many unreleased songs that I have, and it's mad because like when I look at like songs that I have released, it's very little compared to all the other songs that I haven't released. But I think that's based on like confidence as well, where I've struggled to kind of be like, to have the confidence to release stuff. And I think that's why there is a lot of songs that I haven't actually released because just because of that. And because of the time and stuff. But I think will you ever hear them? Maybe. I would love to. You know what? I think I would love to release an album one day. And I'll probably slide them in, you know.
A little sprinkle in there.
Yes, nice, slide them in.
That's good. So like, obviously your biggest fan. And obviously I Want You, and then obviously you're gonna have another one drop on Monday, you said. What was your inspirations behind your biggest fan?
Oh, your biggest fan?
Because I like that melody.
It's, you know what? You say melody.
I liked it.
It is a pop. Like, I remember that was the first song I released after having my daughter. And like, I remember going into the studio and saying to my producer at the time, I just want to make something that's a bop. And it was like, okay. And like, it was, and like, that's why it was just kind of like, like, but it was based off a lullaby that I made for my daughter.
Okay.
So I made it kind of like, the tone was basically off like a song that I made when I used to kind of, like, I used to sing to her when she was sleeping.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why not use that sleeping voice?
Do you know what I mean?
If I was, I'm like, Roxy, come on.
Yeah, and I like, it's the only reason I started to like properly sing to her, because I've been teaching her how to remember songs as well.
Okay.
And she's killing it at the moment. She's killing it. But like, it was off, the melody was kind of like off a lullaby kind of thing. And then like, I was like, oh, why not write a song about my daughter? Why not?
Yeah.
And then I kind of like, I started to like, if you kind of hear the song, you'll probably know what I mean. But it's like dee 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 dee. So it's kind of like a lullaby, but then like, that's why it kind of sounds a bit kind of not poppy, but like, I can't explain it. But it's kind of got that little
vibe.
Yeah, that was just like a way of kind of being like, oh yeah, I'm a little baby. And yeah, I'm her biggest fan and she's my biggest fan. So yeah, that's it really.
So what about I Want? What was like the inspiration behind that?
That is just kind of like my song around self-love and kind of like affirming the things that you want. And like, I think at the time I was kind of in like a in and out situation with music where I was like, I want to do it, but I was a bit like apprehensive about it. And I think it's because I didn't have the time anymore after becoming a mom. Yeah. Like, I really wanted to do it, but I just didn't have the time. And then like, something, I don't know what happened, but I was just like, nah, I want to do music. Yeah. So like, it was just kind of like I think the first line in the song is like, oh, it's been a while since I've been here. Yeah. It's been a while since I've released music. But now this is what I want, and it's like a way of just like affirming everything that I want to do, and kind of like, I don't have to be like everybody else. I don't have to stick to the status quo. I can make music. I can do what I want. So
it's true. So like, obviously going back to, we were talking about biggest fan, obviously being a mom, motherhood. Yes. Talk us about that. Like, she's the most cutest, adorable toddler ever. She actually is, and she knows it.
She definitely does. I ask her, you're cute, don't you? Yeah. Like, she's saying yeah, but she knows it.
Yeah. So how did motherhood shape you as a person and as a musician, artist? Because obviously you're saying that the song I Want, it was like you wanted to do music. You was like, nah, but I'm a mum. But I need to do things for myself as well. So how did you go back and forth? Like, how was that?
That battle was depressing. Yeah. It was like, you know what it was? It was. No one talks about this, but as soon as you become a mum, like, you can't get that old life back.
Yeah, they do say that once you're a kid, you can't be doing this, you can't do that, your lifestyle.
Yeah, you can't be doing those physical things at all, but like, you can't be that old person either, because you've got this responsibility now, and you will always have this responsibility. Yeah. Like, you can have your breaks, but you will always have the responsibility of having a child. Yeah. Like, it's just always on your mind, and you kind of mourn your old life a little bit. And like, it is a bit of grief. Yeah. It actually is, where you sit back and think like, oh, I want that back. I want it back. Yeah. But like, it got me. It got me 100%. And if it doesn't get anyone, I don't believe it, because it got me. Yeah. And it got to the point where I just felt like I was just a mom. And I thought, no. Especially because I'm so young. Like, I've got my whole life ahead of me. I can't just be this, you know what I mean? I've got my music, I've got my friends, there's so much more to me than just being a mom. And I remember before I had my daughter, I said to myself, like, I want to show my daughter what it's like to be independent. Yeah. So she can be independent as well, and she can live that life where she wants. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I thought, well, if I want to teach, literally back and forth in my head, in my little head. Well, if I want to teach that to my child, I need to be independent too. Yeah. How am I going to be independent? Maybe it's doing music, maybe it's finding a job, like little things. Yeah. And like, I remember I started a full-time job, and that was great because I was able to kind of like be someone else for a little bit, like, you know what I mean? Be somebody else instead of just being a mum. But then it got to the point where that just wasn't for me at all. I couldn't. I felt like I was too far away from being myself.
Okay.
So,
What, in
like,
the job?
It wasn't for me, but like, you know, there's mums who go straight back into full-time work and it's for them. There's mums who stay at home and that's for them.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the middle where like I don't want to be working full-time. I don't just want to stay at home. I want to be basically just doing what feels good for me.
And you don't want to go into like a depression as well, like because I know some mums who, as you said, stay at home and they're cool with it.
Yeah.
And some mums that go full-time work and they're cool with it. However, on both sides, they have a think like, is this for me?
This is it.
Is this for me? Because I want to do the right thing for them, but for their children as well. And then they go into a depression and they don't even know they're in that depressive state. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like whatever you do, you've got to look at the pros and cons. You got to look about yourself. Even though, you have to look after this small human now and whatever, you need to look after yourself as well.
Looking after yourself as a mum first. Like,
and it's not being selfish.
It's not being selfish, and I love the word selfish. Like, obviously, like, growing up, it's got negative connotations, but being selfish is probably the best thing you can do. Because I know when I'm not, like, having time to myself, or when I'm not looking after myself, it shows in the way how I am with my child. So, like, looking after myself first, it's like making sure that I'm good, I'm healthy, I'm in check. If I'm alright, then that means my child will be alright as well. And I remember literally putting my toe into that depressive state, and I had to pull myself out ASAP because it just wasn't. I didn't want that kind of energy to be put on my child. And I feel like older generations as well, they've kind of had to. I suppose they've just kind of had to do what they had to do. And then they haven't been able to live a life for themselves. They've kind of just lost themselves, and
it's true.
The trauma's almost put on their children. And it's a bit like.
And then when their child's growing up, and then they have their kind of like, not episodes, but they'll have their what's the word? Experiences. And like, but I didn't teach you that. I didn't know, and it's like, you didn't teach me, but it was there. And what I've seen when I was younger to when I'm growing up is that. So how do you expect me now, as an adult, to kind of change? It's like it's a habit in it. It's embedded in there, kind of thing. And I think that's what we need to. You know, it's obviously with mental health and everyone and everything like that. It's more broader than what we're talking about now. But I feel like if we talk about it more and accept it more, then everyone's going to be like, okay,
It's, the thing is,
you're going to have that sign of relief. Like,
it's black people though.
Like,
it's probably a lot of people, but in the black community, they have this thing where they don't like addressing that they've got mental.
They brush under the carpet.
It's like it doesn't exist. And I went through a phase, before where I was like, having mental health issues don't exist. People just playing on it. It actually exists, and it's like, if it's treated properly, if people pay more attention to it, then these generational traumas will not continue and continue. It needs to be broken. Do you know what I mean? Like,
especially in our household, because as you said, going back to that George Floyd thing, and like bringing it kind of full circle, is we've already got outside pressures and outside things that we talk about because we need to protect ourselves. Protect ourselves out there, but also protect yourself indoors.
100%.
Within your family. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
To break the generational traumas, as you said. Do you know what I mean?
And it's something that, like, I definitely want to teach my children. Because it's like, I don't want to continue a vicious cycle to the point where, like, you look back on the whole family tree and everyone's suffering. And it's like, there probably is, back in the day, think about it, how many mental health issues that, like, our grandparents, our great-grandparents probably had. but because it wasn't treated properly,
and didn't speak about it.
It was just passed down, and it's like fair enough. Like if there's mental health issues, that's cool. But how are we gonna treat it? How are we gonna make it better? Then do you know what I mean? Like we can't just accept it and be like, yeah, cool.
And you can't
this is just the
the
way.
carpet,
This is just the way how we are. Like
nah,
not at all.
It's
Not at
not.
all.
But that's good though, because we're talking about it. You're not living in it, but you're aware of it, and that's what you're not gonna pass down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people need to hear that.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
but
it's
people
okay.
need to be open to hearing it too.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of
everyone needs to be open, guys.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Literally.
So obviously singing, passion. Commonwealth Games was just the other day, and my girl here was singing at Victoria Square. So tell us, like, how did that come about? How was your approach? And how was it? Like,
you know what? It was so good. It's mad, you know, because I think I got booked for it early this year.
Okay, yeah.
But I didn't quite understand how big it was at the time.
Okay,
and that's probably because I just say yes to everything.
Yeah.
But basically, Girl Grind UK reached out to me to basically ask me if I wanted to perform at Victoria Square for Jamaican Independence Day.
Okay.
And that was basically it. And I was just like, yeah, that sounds cool. Woohoo. And then as it came closer to the time, and like town completely got changed, like it just changed. Everything was Commonwealth Games, everything. I was in town one day and I saw Victoria Square and I was like, oh, wait, I'm going to be performing on that stage. Wait, this is part of the Commonwealth Games? Oh my gosh. That was my thought process. I was like, oh my god, oh, this is big. Okay, cool. And like, that's when I was like, oh, this is a really good opportunity. And like, I'm going to take it because,
so you got booked for Jamaican Independence, not the Commonwealth, but it kind of, it was all in one.
It was all in one.
Okay.
So there was celebrations around the Commonwealth Games that day because it was Jamaican Independence Day. And obviously I was performing on Jamaican Independence Day on the Commonwealth stage. So like, honestly, at first I was just like, yeah, cool. But like as time got close, I was like, wow, this is something to really good because we're not gonna get the Commonwealth Games here again. No. Victoria Square ain't gonna be something like that ever again. No. So it was a really good opportunity. Like, I'm
Did
really
you follow much of the Commonwealth Games?
Kind of. It was just on in the house, to be fair. And some like the athletics is what I.
Yeah, the running and stuff. That's the only thing I watch, you know.
You know what? You know, I love about it how fast paced it is. Yeah. Because it's so fast paced. You're like,
it's the adrenaline. That's it.
It's the adrenaline.
Yeah,
definitely.
it is, and that's like. So obviously you've done that. What's come off at the back of that? Like, obviously you're gonna do your EP. Yeah. See the momentum and the anticipation still there.
Yeah, sure.
So what else can we see from you or hear from you? Should I say?
Well, I guess it's kind of like the build up to the EP. So the EP is going to be released in November. Okay. Which is in a couple of months, but it's going to come around. So yeah. So obviously my new single is coming out on Monday, and then during those times there'll be like a couple of gigs where I'm just kind of like I guess playing some of the songs from my EP as well.
Okay, give us a little teaser.
Yes, there'll be a little bit of
sprinkle.
Yes, exactly. So that's like a couple of shows in the meantime, and then I'm gonna have an EP launch in November. So we will be there. I'll put myself there. So I'm basically going to be playing all the new songs off the EP with a full band. Okay. Which is going to be so sick. Like,
so it's cool. Yeah, well, I love how you sing with a live band. Okay. I really do. Yeah. Like, you don't see that nowadays. Yeah. Obviously, with the gigs that you do, okay, the live band's there, so your artists will use them. Yeah. But when you go places. There's no live band.
A lot of the time it's backing track. Yeah, a lot of the time it's backing track.
And I feel like music's getting lost.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because obviously, like with a full band, you can obviously admire the singer. Yeah. But sometimes you see the guitarist jamming out, the keys player feeling it as well. Like, literally just
it brings the
enjoying
whole
music.
thing together.
It
Yeah,
100% does. And like recently, I haven't been performing for full band just because it is hard to coordinate.
Yeah.
And I've just been performing like acoustic, but I've kind of been doing it on purpose because like doing some acoustic sets is good. So then when I do performing for full band, it's something different. So you may hear the same songs, but it's gonna sound different because it's with a full band. Do you know what I mean? Instead of having the same thing all the time. Especially with Birmingham being so small, you don't want to get the people bored. So
you don't. Yeah, it's true.
Change it up a bit, you know.
So okay, before I cut you, sorry. So you had EP launches coming November.
Mm-hmm.
Carry on.
So that's gonna be a celebration because it's my birthday as well. Okay. So it's gonna be like literally the day before, well, hours before my birthday. Okay. So it's gonna be a celebration. People are gonna be getting litty. Woo!
Hell yeah!
So it's gonna be a sick way to end the year and be like, oh, I finally released some new music. And so like literally the next couple of months are just gonna be like a big hype in celebration for the EP. So
I cannot wait. We cannot wait.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Thank you for having this deep, real, fun conversation with me.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so
No
fun.
worries. Please let them know where the people can find you.
So again, I'm Czafari, and you can find me on mainly Instagram. It's CZAFARI. 2 more eyes after that actually on Instagram, and you'll be able to find my website there as well and links to my music there.
Don't worry guys, if you didn't catch that, all will be in the description box below. Thank you again, girl.
Thank you so much.
Till next time, people.